Hi there, my name is Spenser Sakurai and I'm a cinematographer and director located in Oklahoma City. And I'm here today with Adorama TV to talk about the gear that I used to shoot my most recent short film, The Fog. Now I can't show you the entire short film right here in this video because it's quite long and it's not quite finished yet, but I will be sprinkling in some clips from the film throughout this video to show some examples of the gear that I used. So first things first always when shooting a project, and it's what camera are we going to shoot on, and with the help of Adorama rentals we were able to shoot on the RED V-RAPTOR cinema camera. The reason I was intrigued by the RED V-RAPTOR was because I actually own a RED Komodo myself and I wanted to see what RED's newest lineup was all about, and I thought shooting this short film might be a great opportunity to use the Raptor. Now the Raptor is a beast of a cinema camera. It shoots 8K RAW, full frame. Actually the sensor is bigger than most full frame sensors. It's actually 46 millimeters diagonally, which, most full frame censored cameras are around 36, 35 millimeters diagonally. So this sensor is just really massive, especially coming from the RED Komodo, which has a super 35 millimeter sensor. And this sensor actually allowed us to go really wide while still using high quality glass, which brings us to the next piece of the puzzle here that, what are we gonna put in front of that giant sensor? And for this project, we went with the Sigma CinePrimes. Of course, we wanted to use CinePrimes because we wanted to have the ability to quickly swap lenses off and on, and we wanted our follow focus to be able to match up with the gears on the side and not having to worry about the Sigma SLR lenses, which are just meant for your SLR cameras and not for cinema use. We definitely wanted to use cinema housed lenses for this project to keep everything very practical and efficient on set. So these are very neutral, clean lenses. They're sharp, wide open, which I thought would be really nice for a cinema environment where I wasn't trying to go too heavy on the characteristics, like using something that looks a little bit more vintage or has too much character in the bokeh. These are just kind of what you see is what you get, and that's what we wanted for this project. So Adorama sent us most of the Sigma CinePrimes to use on the film, but I mostly shot on the 35, the 40, and the 50 millimeter lenses. That way we could kind of keep that wide 2:40 aspect ratio, but still have some nice depth of field between our subject and the background, and I just thought that focal range just made a lot of sense for this film. Now, I don't normally like to shoot wide open when I'm shooting narrative stuff, but for this scenario, we kind of wanted to shoot at night and in low light situations, so with that full frame sensor on the RED V-RAPTOR, mostly shooting at 1600 ISO, which produces a really nice, clean, basically noiseless image, even in that red RAW codec, and then paired with the Sigma CinePrimes, opened all the way up to T15, we were able to shoot in very low light conditions, which was really handy and efficient when shooting a film at night. What's really nice about those Sigma lenses is that all the housings are basically the same size and all the gears are in the same spot. So on set, it makes things very efficient because the front diameter of the lenses, if you're going to put a filter on there, are all the same size, as well as when we go to swing a lens and put another lens on, we can mount our follow focus back in the exact same spot, quickly calibrate the follow focus, and then move on to get the next shot. But these lenses were great and they actually resolved that full 8K sensor the entire time, and we had no issues with vignetting or anything like that with these lenses. So speaking of shooting in low light, let's talk about some of the lights that I used to shoot this short film as well. Now we had a few 360 Steadicam shots in this film, so we knew that we had to put lights in areas that were a little bit more cumbersome than your usual lighting setups. So for this project, we chose Nanlite to light all of our shots. We had two Nanlite Forza 500s, which are the nice, Cobb style LED lights, 500 watts. You're getting a lot of power out of those lights. And then paired with that, we had the Nanlite Pavo tubes. We had the 4-foot tubes and the 2-foot tubes to light the rest of the interior shot. So the Nanlite Pavo tubes are RGB style LED tubes, and they're very easy to use. You can just change the color temperature to whatever you want, and you can basically mount them wherever you want. And they're always an essential piece of my kit. So for this, we actually were able to use some spreaders, some wall spreaders. We put a tube up in the ceiling to kind of act as some little moonlight coming into the kitchen there. And then we just used practical lights and lamps around the room to contrast off the Nanlite that was in the ceiling. Then we had the Nanlite Forza 500s outside, acting as our kind of exterior lights, our moonlight in some scenarios, and our, just kind of exterior tungsten lights in other scenarios. And then we had the Fresnel attachment on that to really punch up the light and push it to wherever we needed to. And so you can take that Nanlite Fresnel attachment, which helps you focus the light wherever you want. And then you can also put barn doors on that to be able to control your light even more. It was just great having all that power from the Forza 500. We actually weren't even at 100% most of the time because it lit up the entire neighborhood and we didn't want to upset the neighbors. Then once we were back inside, like I said, we were using the Nanlite Pavo tubes. We used the 2-foot tubes bounced off of some beadboard and through some diffusion as our key light most of the time. And then we had the 4-foot tubes off in corners and around the house to add little accent lights and to push a little bit more fill into the room. And that's just what I love about the Nanlite Pavo tubes is that you can basically put them anywhere. You can just set them up in a corner. You can put them on top of a refrigerator and bounce them into the wall. They're just a very versatile light and I absolutely love these tube lights. But to actually see the image and separate from our camera operator's monitor, we wanted to be able to wirelessly transmit the image to a bigger monitor farther away from the camera operator. And for this, we wanted a really reliable wireless transmission system. So we went with the Teradek Bolt 4K LT for this. Now I've used a lot of wireless transmission systems and they all tend to have a little bit of hiccups here and there, a little bit of glitches or some interference, but this Bolt 4K never missed a beat the entire night. So we had reliable image the entire day. My camera assistant never had to miss focus because something went out, and I was able to see the image the entire time so I could direct the actors and the blocking of the scenes without any issues at all. And to keep our movement and our camera stable throughout the shoot, we went with the new Sachtler Flowtech system. We had the Sachtler Ace XL 75mm fluid head and the Flowtech 75 carbon fiber tripod and mid-level spreader as the base. Now I just love this tripod system so much. First off, it's just super lightweight and the construction is really nice. It's made out of carbon fiber and you really want a lightweight tripod on set because you're able to move around more easily. The RED V-RAPTOR is not huge, but when you start to pile everything on there, you don't want to have too much weight on your tripod because it's just going to slow you down. But my favorite thing about this is that it has a single stage system on it. So you're able just to unclick those handles and then lower and raise the tripod wherever you want with just that one stage. Now you don't have to go through and fumble around and click a bunch of, stages up and down to find your height and where you want to be. It's just 3 clicks, you're up, and then 3 clicks down and everything's locked into place. And it's something that I absolutely love on set. And then to keep power running to our camera all day, we actually had to use micro V-mount batteries for this because that's what the RED V-RAPTOR takes. This is kind of the newest addition to the V-mount lineup of batteries. They're very small and really compact, and they kind of just keep your rig nice and tiny and not too bulky like some of the old V-mount systems. So to really have a lot of juice to the camera, we went with the 150 watt-hour Core 150 micro V-mount batteries, which kept the camera running for multiple hours at a time. They have a really nice slim and compact profile on them, and those 150s just kind of go out a little bit farther backwards rather than higher like some of the older systems, and that just helped keep the rig nice and small and clean. So thanks to Adorama for providing us with this gear to shoot this short film. With all this gear together in conjunction with each other, we were able to have a super efficient workflow on set, and we were able to create some really beautiful images for this narrative project that I've been working on. But that's all for me in this video. Once again, my name is Spenser Sakurai with Adorama TV. See ya.